Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD, and this is Fast Effect, Double Speed, Magic the Gathering. Here we have Elves versus a new Reanimator build, this time based around Worldgorger Dragon. A very fun card, but it also happens to not be legendary. So some real trade-offs being made there in terms of the animate target. You're losing Reanimate and Exhume, and instead playing Dance of the Dead, Animate Dead, and Necromancy, and that'll create a infinite mana loop. That infinite mana can be used to do some very good things, very bad things for your opponent, or you can actually just win outright with some lands, part of your mana base, that either drain your opponent with every cycle, cards like Piranha Marsh, or cycle through your deck. And here we go, Gristlebrand and Worldgorger Dragon in the graveyard off of a Faithless Looting here. We have a turn 1 Faithless Looting, turn 2 Dance of the Dead. That is hitting Worldgorger Dragon, and that will actually generate infinite mana. Now with Gemstone Mine, that's going to be each color, so Rodney essentially able to get 10,000 of each color mana here. And then it lands on Gristlebrand, Worldgorger going away. And the cards that he's able to draw off of Gristlebrand very likely to be castable with the mana in his mana pool here. Down to 6 life. Worldgorger not able to be handled by Karakas. Now there's an Entomb, grabbing Una, and Animate Dead on her, and infinite mana means instant death. So she's going to be able to mill the entire elf deck, and I'll be dead on the draw step. So there we go, a nice turn 2 there for Rodney versus Elves, which had to mull down. Even hitting Deathrite Shaman would not have been good enough there. Being on the draw. On the play, Deathrite Shaman would have been much stronger. Still not necessarily a guaranteed win, as the deck can play around Deathrite Shaman with Necromancy during the end step, then untap, and either animate or dance. So Elves here having access to Surgical Extraction, as well as the main deck Deathrite Shamans. Not going to be too heavy in terms of graveyard hate. Also have Scavenging Ooze, which is very slow in comparison to this type of Reanimator deck. Rodney having Lotus Petal and Dark Ritual to really accelerate down that path and hopefully be too fast for Deathrite Shaman. A real decision here is just how good Karakas and Crop Rotation are. Karakas, part of the elf build, and of course comboing quite well with that Crop Rotation, giving you more access to it. Really better versus the show and tell style decks. And certainly the fact that this deck can easily kill you without legendary creatures makes it an interesting decision. But starting out here, Green Sun Zenith for Dryad Arbor. Going to go into turn 2 having access to hopefully 3 mana. And Unmask, seeing a handful of goodies here. Green Sun Zenith, Reclamation Sage, and Heritage Druid. So Zenith taken out. And I'm actually not sure the name of the card Rodney just played there. It's going to allow each player to draw 2 and draw 1 and discard 1 if he does manage to combo off. Gemstone Mine here. And Faithless Looting. So Deathrite Shaman and Heritage Druid on the other side of the board with a pair of Dryad Arbors. So some serious mana building up on the side of Elves. Natural Order, a very live draw. And Visionary drawing a card. And Wirewood Symbiote. So combo kind of assembled here in terms of picking up and putting down the ELVES Visionary in order to draw cards each turn. Going to be able to generate some card advantage. Faithless Looting flashback for Rodney. Interesting gambit there in that Deathrite Shaman could have removed the Faithless Looting, but then the graveyard would have been left totally undefended. See how this goes. Rodney's able to get in anything that moves the game forward. Entomb, it looks like, and an Animate. So end step, Entomb going to be removed. And it looks like it's about time for a clock to begin. So 5 damage incoming. All 1/1s, little green men. Deathrite Shaman tapping for mana and then being untapped by Wirewood Symbiote. Making sure to get those card draws. And that card draw was a good one in Surgical Extraction. And Dismember hitting Deathrite Shaman. So he is out of there. That buys a full extra turn there. Dark Ritual, Entomb, and Dance of the Dead. That would be lethal. So that's Surgical very welcome here. That should do it. Rodney probably had one more turn, about just one card. No single card he could draw that could get him out of that. So game 2 going to Elves there on the strength of Surgical Extraction. And +1 for a little bit of card advantage. Drawing the quality sideboard cards. Karakas coming out here. Kind of trimmed a little bit around the edges in order to get Karakas and crop rotation in. That's coming out of the deck. And just focusing more on cards like Abrupt Decay, which if the game does go more than a couple of turns, Abrupt Decay is going to be extremely good versus the animation package here. Unlike Reanimate and Exhume, Animate Dead, Dance of the Dead, and Necromancy need to stick around in order for the creature to remain on the battlefield. So Abrupt Decay, a very strong answer to that, particularly the World Gorger Dragon combo itself. So the way the Dragon combo works, for those unfamiliar, is the Dance of the Dead or Animate. We'll just use Animate for the purposes of explanation. When Animate enters the battlefield, you're choosing a creature in your graveyard and returning it to the battlefield. Now, World Gorger Dragon, when he enters, removes all of your other permanents from the game, including the Animate Dead. When that happens, World Gorger goes back to the graveyard, returning all your permanents. When the Animate Dead comes back, the loop starts again. Each time that happens, you're able to tap your lands for mana, generating infinite mana. And of course, Rodney has lands like Piranha Marsh that each time they enter the battlefield, your opponent loses a life or takes a damage, depending on which card he's using there, effectively killing your opponent immediately. The other side of that is Una and her ability to use that infinite mana to remove your opponent's deck from the game, effectively killing them, as well as having some X spells in the deck, cards like Comet Storm or Get to Fire, that you could actually just do X damage to their face at instant speed. And Rodney starting out with Faithless Looting here. Losing a Bayou and an unknown card. Our view. Don't believe any type of reanimation target. Starting out here with Green Sun Zenith for a Dryad Arbor. Kind of standard operating procedure here. Elves gonna want some type of acceleration on turn 1. And gonna have Abrupt Decay available. Or not. It looks like Unmasked coming in again. This time pitching Cabal Therapy. So we have Abrupt Decay, Natural Order, so threatening a actual win from Elves in just a few turns, but that Abrupt Decay has to be taken, so he knows that Natural Order is going to be dangerous. And then we've got Dark Ritual, Entomb, one card left in hand. Given that he Dark Ritual, we've got to expect it's an Animate spell. Probably going to see a Gristlebrand. It's actually Worldgorger Dragon. So that would create a draw. So it looks like Rodney actually sideboarded out his other targets. And that's going to be a draw. So we're going into game 4 now. And Rodney will be on the play again. So a little bit of a questionable sideboarding choice there. Not having a Gristlebrand. Instead going all in on the Worldgorger combo. I don't know if he had Una left in the deck. If he did, I don't know if she would have been good enough. Eventually, that Natural Order would have threatened to end the game, and giving Elves like 5 turns, not really ideal. The ability to draw the game with Worldgorger Dragon early and often was a big criticism of the deck when it first came out. People were very concerned about the ability to just turbo out a Worldgorger Dragon, either through Entomb or Careful Study back in the day, and effectively just continually draw the game on turn 2 until you actually have the ability to just win the game on turn 2. So Worldgorger going into the graveyard off of Faithless Looting here, setting up the potential win. And Elves, not a lot that they can really do here. Surgical Extraction, the only card that's going to be able to interact this early. Looks like that is in hand, though. So there's Deathrite Shaman and Abrupt Decay. Hopefully Rodney doesn't have any type of animate, but he does. So Surgical going to really be important here, or the game would have been over. Those Worldgorgers are out of there. Gonna take a look through, and still with Entomb and Animate dead. So Death right now going to be very important. Cradle off the top, that's a nice one. So with that Lotus Petal, I mean, we're going to be facing down another another turn with a potential catastrophic result. So we're going to have to leave Deathrite Shaman open to play defense. Otherwise, it's just going to be Entomb and then Animate Gristlebrand. We're in Ranger. That Cradle going to have to sit back for now. Badlands coming down. Faithless Looting getting flashed back. Gonna dig for some card quality. Not ready to put a reanimation target in the graveyard. I didn't actually see what went into the graveyard there for the Faithless Looting. But Unmask, clearing out Glimpse of Nature. And Abrupt Decay still in hand. 3 mana, Metal, Deathrite Shaman #2, sitting on just Abrupt Decay. But those Deathrite Shamans are really hugely problematic. Now, it's worth noting that the typical Black-Red Reanimator decks would potentially have a way out of the situation just by show and telling a giant monster. They are able to sidestep the graveyard. World Gorger not going to combo at all with show and tell. Not really good enough to just get in a 7/7 Trampler, I believe. Very rarely does he attack. Pushing in some damage. Looks like a couple of turns here to go for Rodney. Deathrite Shaman, very dangerous. Without having World Gorger in the graveyard, or access to the World Gorgers because of Surgical, I should say, Necromancy really not an exciting card anymore. The ability to win in instant speed, very interesting part of Dragon. And there we go, Rodney extending the hand, and that is it. Elves taking down World Gorger Dragon 3. That's all for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please help grow the channel by subscribing. You'll be notified when we upload new videos like Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic with commentary, or Untapped, our raw tournament gameplay. Thanks for watching.